Understanding and applying the cost credibility matrix will keep both your time and your money focused on the promotional opportunities that you can control the best and that matter the most.
This is The Rare Advisor, proud to be a part of the Advisor Advancement Network and home of a business model supercharged by recurring and repeatable events. Your host is Mike Walters, CEO of USA Financial. He is an investment advisor representative of and securities are offered through USA Financial Securities, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, welcome back to The Rare Advisor. Today, we continue on with number 2 out of our mini-series, 5 advisor secrets that matter most right now. I'm talking about the things that have changed in the last 18 to 24 months that have altered how we need to operate in the financial services industry and focusing in on the 5 things that truly matter most to have a successful practice today. Now, as things are starting to loosen up, as you're starting to be able to get back face to face, as you're starting to be able to run live events again, not just Zoom events and Zoom phone calls or Zoom meetings, but actually be able to look someone in the eye and physically be in the same space with them. As these things are changing, you have to be very, very strategic about understanding the cost credibility matrix. This will keep your time and your money focused on promotional opportunities that you can control and those that matter most. I'm sure you've seen this kind of stuff before. This is just a sample that's been floating around my town. This is a billboard type structure. Have you seen a billboard like this? Now, obviously, I blocked it all out to save the innocent here. But here's a guy who's standing on a big billboard. He's got his arms like this, and he's got a safe inside of each arm. The idea being that your money is obviously safe. It's really hokey looking. Obviously, you can tell by the type of advertising taking place, this individual has no securities license. This individual does not have a Series 65 or a 66. They do not have a 6 or a 7. They're not a registered rep. They're not an RIA. They're not an IAR. They're basically just an insurance agent peddling annuities. And you know what? So be it. That's fine. But it's hokey and it's expensive. The credibility is low. The cost is high. You can't come up with a worse way to spend your promotional money than high cost, low credibility. There's something called the cost credibility matrix. I want to talk to you about this today. Right down here, lower right. So let's look at this really quick. So here's cost, left and right, low, high, and here's credibility, high, low. So if I'm high cost, low credibility, I'm right here. That's our friend with their big billboard, standing like Macho Man with the safes in their arm. High cost, low credibility. Worst place you can be. Think about the quadrants that you want to be in and what they mean to you. What can you control? What's the impact? What's the benefit? And what's the cost? So here we have high cost, low credibility. That's the worst. That's the quadrant we want to stay away from. We want to keep out of the cringy billboards and all the other cringy stuff that you can do marketing your practice. Over here to the left, low cost, low credibility. I'll argue equally dangerous and probably cost you financially in ways that don't immediately add up to dollars, but can physically hurt you in other ways because they take your positioning in the marketplace and they knock it down. And suddenly people are scratching their head thinking, why would I ever do business with that person? Remember, what's truly for sale is an appointment with you. Do they trust you touching their money? That's what's really for sale in our industry. You have to come across as credible. You have to come across as real. You have to come across as passionate. You have to come across as trustworthy, as someone who they would believe in. That's the key. So if I'm low cost, that's not bad. That's great. But low credibility sucks. And I don't want low credibility. It hurts me in a million different ways. Then we come to the upper right. Here we have high cost, high credibility. Actually, this is the place to live. This is how most of us are able to build our businesses because the high cost is what allows us to control it. So high cost, high credibility. Classic example of high cost, high credibility is running public events. Now, granted, there are bad ways to run public events. If you get up there as a product pusher and a sleazy salesperson, you're just going to come off as a sales pest, like a used car salesman, and that's not going to do you any good. And now you've got high cost, low credibility. But high cost, high credibility up here, which is where we want to be, it can have a value financially. It can have a value on its time, but it has a great ROI. So when I am speaking to a group, I am at the podium. I am the expert authority in the room. There's something that happens in the room when you have a large group of people gathered to come hear you as the expert. That credibility goes through the roof. Now, it might be expensive because you had to rent space. Maybe you're feeding the people. You had to do a mail drop. You had to do advertising and different things to get that educational event filled. But as long as you keep to the premise of what is truly for sale is an appointment with you afterwards, you're not peddling product. You're not peddling interest rates. You're not peddling performance. You're talking about solving problems in their financial future. In doing so with a plan first, invest second attitude, then this is going to be very powerful. But the key that just about everybody misunderstands here. High cost, high credibility does two things. Number one, it gets you the credibility you need in a controlled environment because you're footing the bill. Whether you're footing the bill physically with time or whether you're footing the bill physically with money, you're in control. That is the gateway to get to the upper left, the holy grail. The upper left is high credibility, low cost. Low cost, high credibility. That's what I love most. Low cost, high credibility. When you're invited in as the expert from outside to come speak to a group and you did not fill the room, you did not pay anything, maybe you even got paid to be there somehow. Now suddenly, low cost, high credibility. Now remember, your time is still a cost. So financially and time, I want to look at this. Do I get to simply walk in and speak to a group for an hour and have a direct response type relationship with them so that I can track things? That's low cost, high credibility. I'll take that all day. Do I get invited onto a television station? Do I get invited into a radio show? Do I get invited into as a guest speaker? Am I asked to speak at an event or a convention? Low cost, high credibility. Do I have to pay to get there? High cost, high credibility. The point is, you want to live above this line. You want to be in the high credibility category. Cost is secondary at that point. I want credibility first, then I'll determine what the cost is and am I willing to do it, whether that is a cost in time, energy, expertise, or physically money. But understand, you have to buy your way into this game. You're likely going to have to create your own credibility through high cost so that others in your community and your marketplace will see you as that credible individual, and then they will start to invite you in and give you opportunities for other things that are low cost, high credibility. The other thing that is low cost, high credibility is getting introductions from your best clients, not referrals. Referrals suck, quite honestly. I want introductions. Introductions to duplicate my best clients. High credibility, low cost. Because I already footed the bill when I got that client years ago. So, very different way of understanding all this stuff. The cost credibility matrix is vital because what I see happening right now is people are coming out of the tightness, the lockdowns of the pandemic. They're starting to open back up their business in terms of investing in how to get in front of new clientele and bring new prospects to the firm. And sometimes they get a little overeager. They get the cart in front of the horse. They just start spending money and taking pot shots at things all over this chart. Be diligent. Stay in the high credibility category and then determine your cost between high and low or somewhere in the middle, but always keep your credibility. That's the key in this business. Hey, I hope you like this stuff. We've got 3 more in this little mini series of the 5 secrets that matter most for advisors right now. So please subscribe, like, let me know how this is going for you, and we'll be hitting you up with the next 3 in our series of 5.
This information is for licensed financial professionals only and is not intended for use in soliciting sales from the public. The views expressed represent the opinions of the presenter or their featured guest, not necessarily those of USA Financial or its affiliated subsidiaries. Industry references are generic and not intended to represent actions or beliefs of any individual or entity. Content is only presented to illustrate general principles, beliefs, or ideas and should not be construed as legal or regulatory advice. Trademark and copyright protected. USA Financial and Affiliates.